Hello everyone, my name is Parker Mott. You might recognize me from, I don't know if you watched the show, with our whopping 200 views we got, but I'm from the show The Final Take with my friend Jason Rogers. So yeah, I'm just here to talk about movies this year that I found very overrated or very underrated. I have two for each of them. So, well, might as well just get right to it. So I'll first start with the overrated films. I always love talking about the films that I think are so mainstream and I just trash them, but actually one of them isn't, but one of them is, and that one that is mainstream is How to Train Your Dragon. I don't understand what is so compelling about this movie. I was checking Rotten Tomatoes. It has 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what I'm missing, but the problem I have with this movie, 3D, yes, great. I think it's a visual feast to be had. With the shots of the dragons in the sky is very, very, very unbelievable to look at. Very three-dimensional, of course, and just it was eye-popping to watch. But the problem with the movie I had was, and DreamWorks have been having this problem lately generally with their movies, is there's not a lot of humanity in the film. Whereas Pixar lately has been really good at, with Up in the recent films like WALL-E. Even WALL-E, it took place in outer space with a robot, and we could relate to this robot, understand he had human feelings. But with How to Train Your Dragon, they're so, no pun intended, but animated. There's nothing to really make you relate to the characters, except for Jay Baruchel, who I find he's funny. But he's just he has this comedic awkwardness to him that just slides so easily into that genre. But other than that, I found like I couldn't relate to anyone. That the father was a cliche role. You knew exactly, like, he starts off not liking his son and he wants him to be a Viking, and then suddenly he accepts him at the end. I saw that coming. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I just thought, like, it's not a genius film. I don't think it should be nominated for Best Animated Film, but it probably will. But anyways, that's why I think it's an overrated film. My second overrated film is one that's actually more esoteric, and not many people have seen it, I don't think. It's a Swedish film, and it's called The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and it's directed by Niels Oplev. I watched this film, and it's not, again, not a terrible movie, but it's very long. It's 2 hours and 32 minutes. It's based on this novel, but this huge murder mystery, and there's a whole bunch of things about. It was originally supposed to be called Men Who Hate Women, so you obviously see this sort of, really going against men, because there's some men in this film, in this film, who do a lot of terrible things to the main actress Noomi Rapace, who is very good. I give her that. She's the highlight of the movie. But there's just some scenes with some just horrible things being done, and I'm all for, like, gratuitous violence. I liked The Devil's Rejects, kill me, whatever. I liked it. But in here, it just, like, it didn't add anything to the film. It didn't take away much, but it just didn't do anything. It just sat there. I found the violence scenes very long. It didn't add anything to the film that could have been very visceral. Performances are good, but I just felt this was another mystery serial killer story I've seen thousands of times before. It's 2.5 hours based on a story, nothing too inventive. It's being loved. I don't know why, but, like, I guess the performances. Again, Rapace could be Oscar worthy for next Oscar, but the film itself very overrated as an actual crime mystery thriller. Anyways, I'll get on to my underrated films. I love talking about underrated films, trying to get you to go out and see them, because I think you should, even though maybe critics haven't liked them as much as they really should have. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is one that got actually pretty bad reviews, and I went to see it not expecting much, and I went a really small theater, and I just watched this film on, like, not the biggest screen, and I came out of that, I said, that was a kind of a cool Hitchcockian sort of thriller. It's called Chloe, and it stars Amanda Seyfried, Julianne Moore, Liam Neeson, great cast, and basically what's happening is Julianne Moore is thinking that her husband, played by Liam Neeson, like I said, is cheating on her, and so she hires this call girl, played by Amanda Seyfried, named Chloe, and they have this really kind of contrived meeting, I'll give it that, but and then Chloe eventually tells her in later meetings that she tempted her husband, and her husband, Liam Neeson, succumbed and would do, like, naughty things with her. What's frightening about this movie is that director Adam McGowan, a Canadian director, even more brownie points for that since I'm Canadian, he finds a way that you don't know everything that goes on in the movie. Is Chloe telling the truth about this? Is Liam Neeson actually cheating on the wife of Julianne Moore? You don't know that, and it leaves everything open for your observation. So I really appreciate that about the film. It didn't tell everything for you. It's very chilling at times. It's obviously fiery with, like, some intent. There's one intense sex scene with Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore was like, wow, okay. And like Amanda Seyfried really maturing as an actress lately. Just we saw her in Mean Girls a few years ago, and now she's doing all these movies that like Dear John, terrible. But Chloe I liked, and it was not like the people were calling it very cheesy, but I think it's trying to do that. It's daring for you to hate it, but then I just found such likability and such a really kind of offbeat, equivocal narrative. So anyways, that's what my first underrated film. My second underrated film is one I just saw recently, and it wasn't hated at all, but I don't think it was praised at all, and it's called The Runaways, and it's a music biopic based off the band The Runaways, where Joan Jett, who wrote the songs I Love Rock and Roll and Bad Reputation, and also Cherie Currie, a lesser known member of the band. She had a lot of problems with drugs and exploitation, things like that. She's played by Dakota Fanning, and Joan Jett is played by Kristen Stewart, one of my favorite young actors going, if you get rid of the Twilight saga of defecation. But anyways, The Runaways just has, it's not going to be a big critical assessment for the fans. The fans are going to go in and be, wow, that was really analytical. What's so great about the movie and why I love it so much is that it just has this vibe to it, and it captures that era when everything was like anarchy, just mayhem, sex, revolt, rock and roll, and it just captures that kind of rhythm. So I really appreciate the film for what it's worth, and also Kristen Stewart in a really modest role. I love that she never has to go over the top of the performance. She can convey everything on such a somber level. I really appreciated that about the film. Dakota Fanning, again, like that chick who from the screaming girl from War of the Worlds, and now playing this girl who does is snorting cocaine, is like selling her body to guys for drugs. It's tough to watch at times, but it's not a chore, and that's important. I really like the movie. I suggest you check it out. Anyway, so those are my two overrated and underrated films. For the underrated films, go see them. The overrated, I assume you've already seen How to Train Your Dragon, but the other Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, don't waste your time. I think it's really overrated. It's 2.5 hours of your time too, so that's even more reason for me to just skip it. Like, it's another crime mystery thriller. I didn't think much of it, but you can disagree with me if you want. Just let me know. You can contact me at my blog if you want on Rotten Tomatoes. My blog is www.parkerfinaltake.blogspot.com. I have all my reviews there. You can leave some comments if you like. Troll me if you want. I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, so thank you. I'm Parker Mott.